Hi, I'm Martin and I am the owner and founder of InKnotts Wine. So InKnotts Wine is an Eastern European wine specialist. We focus on regions such as Armenia, Georgia, Lebanon, Republic of Moldova, Romania and Bulgaria. We offer a hybrid shop model, so you can come in, you can buy bottles to take away. You can also stay and have a glass with us, and we do tasting events every month. So the reason we chose wine from this region is my wife is actually from Moldova, and she was really what introduced me to wine from the area. So like most people in the UK, I had no knowledge of the country, I knew nothing about wine from these areas, and it was visiting her family. I saw everyone had grapes growing up the drive, everybody offers you house wine, and it's actually good quality, not like what my granddad used to make years ago, which took the enamel off your teeth. Then you start to learn the history, that actually they've got 6,000 years of wine in Moldova, 8,000 in Georgia. These are really the cradle of wine and the places to go. So we saw an opportunity to say, this wine is so good, it needs to be in the UK. And that's when we built a plan to say, let's be the importer of this wine, let's introduce this to the UK market. It's not just wine that we sell at the shop, we also have a range of beers from Moldova and Russia. We have brandy, which is called Divin locally. We also have some liqueurs, one made from sour cherries called Vishnata. We also have another called Knuckle, which is a herbal walnut sort of based liqueur, very similar to Jägermeister. And then there's a company that makes a blend of that Knuckle with wine, which is quite an interesting drink to try. Before InKnotts Wine, I actually have a background in customs. So I worked as imports and exports. So that allowed me to sort of really understand the nuances of getting products from one country into another, understanding tariff codes and customs entries. And that just allowed me to have the belief that I could actually bring this wine into the UK and have an understanding of what I'm doing. When starting this business, I was actually still working full-time, doing the customs role. This was a bit of a sort of a side project for us, a bit of a passion project because of my wife being from the country as well, and we felt we really wanted to try and represent these brands and this country into the UK. So with my background there, I was doing full-time still at work, and I was using the money I was earning from the job really to finance setting up this business. But the plan originally was going to be online only, just keep it as I get orders during the day, I can ship them the next day. It was going to be quite a simplistic sort of model. However, it became apparent very early that online has its own set of challenges. We're competing with very big names who have lots of spending power, who are going to have all the key words. If I put red wine, I'm not being found, the big players are being found. If I put Fatasca Niagara, no one in the UK knows Fatasca Niagara, so I'm not being found. That's when it became apparent, we need to change the model. It needs to be brick and mortar shop. We need to look at making it so we can actually see people. But there comes a point where you're kind of doing half of one job and half another, part-time one, part-time, and both are not really doing great because you're not committing to either or. So there came a point where I said, I either need to commit now to this full-time because I believe in the product, I believe in what we're doing, or we say, look, we gave it a good go, it worked well, we've had some enjoyment, some good times from it, but we're done. I believe enough in the product. I know how good the wines are and what we offer and what our service is, that we've gone for it full time, but with that, obviously there's inherently risks attached to that, but I don't want to look back in 10, 20 years time and said, that business could have worked if I'd gone for it and never did. So I would always say to people, if you're thinking of doing it, sometimes give it a go, because you could be the next person who's sat here doing what I'm doing today. Our original shop was based in Mansfield. This was purely really down to location. We decided that Newark was the place for us to be because we know there's more of a wine culture here. We know you've already got wine shops, independent wine shops in Newark. But what we found from sort of looking at what they do is we offer kind of two different models. We sort of look at obviously more the niche sort of Eastern European places that aren't really represented, while a lot of the other businesses here focus really on the core sort of classic international regions. So we kind of complement each other. There's not really a clash as such. So that's already shown us that there's a demand here, there's a passion, there's an understanding for wine that's different. So you put these sort of bits together and this is going to be a place that's going to give us the growth that we want. It's going to allow us to expand in the way that we want and really continue our story of going from what started as a little warehouse with a few wines going into a shop that's in the right place. Next step would be to get even bigger range, more seats, more people, and we think Newark is the place to do that. Our shop's located at 14 Chain Lane. We also have our website, www.inknotts.co.uk, where you can see our current bar list and upcoming events. We also have an Instagram account and a Facebook account. They're both just InKnotts Wine. If you search InKnotts Wine, we'll come up and you can follow us there. And we post a lot of our updates there, new wines we have in stock, what events we're doing, etc.